Hi, this is Jamey from Stonemeyer Games, and I'm here today to talk about my favorite game mechanism in Burgle Brothers. Before I do that, I wanted to give a quick shout out to the folks who make me pillows. They sent me a few me pillows. These are just like giant meeple-shaped pillows that are just really comfortable. So this guy's gonna hang out with me today for today's discussion of Burgle Brothers. Burgle Brothers is a cooperative game for up to 4 players, where you are running a heist, which I love right off the bat. I love heist movies, and so I've been waiting for a long time really for a game to encapsulate the feel of a heist in a game, and Burgle Brothers does it really well. It has a lot of clever things going on. I just want to focus on one of them today, which is the player's ability to manipulate the guard. So in most cooperative games, there's some sort of AI, artificial intelligence, that is chasing you down, or like in Pandemic, it's the virus gets worse and worse, and typically you can fight against these things, whatever the AI is, but you can't exactly manipulate it. You just kind of have to deal with what happens. For example, another game that's fairly similar to Burgle Brothers is Forbidden Desert, in that you're working on this grid of tiles and you're moving around the grid and you're doing stuff, and each player has slightly different things they can do. And in Forbidden Desert, which I would say probably is my favorite cooperative game, I love Forbidden Desert. There's an AI that is related to how the sand builds up on the board, and you just have to deal with it. Like every turn after your turn, you manipulate the board. Like a card comes out that tells you what to do with the board, and you put sand on the board according to the card. Burgle Brothers, it's a heist, and so you're trying to avoid these guards that are walking around on each of the floors. So the game is divided into either 2 or 3 floors that you're moving around on. And the guard is an AI system that similar to Forbidden Desert, is determined by a deck of cards. You flip a card at the end of the turn, and it tells you where the guard moves. Fairly simple. But in addition to that is an additional layer that makes it really, really awesome, which is when you trigger an alarm. So there are certain tiles on each floor that trigger an alarm. If you move there, if you end your turn there, the tiles are different in the way they trigger it. If you trigger an alarm, the guard's like, what's that? And he will change his route to go check out the alarm, as a guard would do. It makes perfect thematic sense, so it's really easy to understand and explain when you're playing the game. And so early on in the game when we were playing, this was annoying because we were like, okay, we were walking onto tiles and triggering the alarm, and the guard was moving towards us. But as the game progressed, we realized that we could manipulate the guard based on that information. So there were times, for example, where a player was a little trapped and he couldn't get out of a certain spot, and the guard was making his way towards him. And what we would do is we would have another player on their turn trigger an alarm on the far other side of the board, so the guard would change his route and switch his target to the alarm on the far side of the board, which again makes perfect thematic sense that you see a guard like encroaching upon your buddy who's trying to break into the safe, and you have to distract the guard somehow, so you set off the water alarm on the other side of the bank or wherever you are. Makes perfect sense. And this added element, where it's not just an AI of its own inclination, of an automated deck of cards, but also an AI that you can manipulate in a thematic way, was just brilliant. I just really enjoyed that experience. So I love games where you get to feel clever, and often in cooperative games, you're just trying not to lose the whole time. And this is an element where, yeah, you're trying not to lose, but you actively get to feel clever in your decisions in manipulating the things that normally aren't within your control in a cooperative game. I really, really love that element. I'd love to hear your thoughts if there are other games, cooperative games in particular, where you have the ability to really manipulate the AI in a thematic way. I'd love to hear about them. Thanks. Oh, and goodbye from Me Pillows. Thanks again for the Me Pillows.